everybody, welcome back to the Etihad here with me, Conor McGilligan, on a gloomy Monday afternoon. We've just been and watched Manchester City train, and it's always a fantastic experience doing that, so thank you to Manchester City, of course. But we're back here discussing everything to do with the club. Right now, City are in an incredible funk. It's fantastic to see. The fans are loving it. We're loving it as journalists as well. And we're back here to discuss everything when it comes to Leeds United, Real Madrid, Everton. So much to talk about. Man City, it feels at the minute, are playing every minute. It's ridiculous. Me and my cameraman feel like, we're doing stuff on Manchester City all the time. So it's fantastic for us, of course, for coverage. So, what have we seen today? What have we seen today at training? Well, I've experienced a fantastic rondo. I've seen Jack Grealish and Kevin De Bruyne keep the ball for about 10 minutes. I've seen another lovely relationship. We've seen flourish at City at the minute when it comes to Jack Grealish and Erling Haaland on the pitch, and it happens in training as well, everyone. The relationship, the bond, the shouting at each other from one side to the other. It's fantastic to see. But anyway, on to important matters. It looks like Nathan Ake is going to be out for this one. From what we saw, we didn't see him at training. Something might have happened after training, as in maybe behind closed doors, who knows, which is definitely key to know. But from what we saw, the reporters, the journalists, the camera guys, unfortunately, Nathan Ake wasn't there, which fires up a mighty conundrum for Pep Guardiola. A flat back four centre-backs, has been something that has revitalised Manchester City when it comes to the rear guard. So what on earth is going to happen right now? Is Laporte going to be introduced? Is Sergio Gomez going to be introduced? Is there going to be a little bit of a hybrid role for a City player? Who knows? Pep Guardiola and his mastermind ways shocks us all constantly, doesn't it? So, but you do have to have faith, don't you, Pep Guardiola, of course. But getting on to the Real Madrid game in just a second, when you look at the Leeds game at the weekend, there was a little bit of rotation. We saw Kyle Walker start on the bench. We saw Jack Grealish start on the bench. But interestingly, Erling Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne did start the game. Obviously, İlkay Gundogan was fantastic. Pep was referring to that in his post-match press conference as well, how vital İlkay Gundogan is and how much he wants to keep İlkay Gundogan at the club. Obviously, there's a lot of contract talk of İlkay Gundogan. Is he going to leave? Bernardo Silva's in that remit as well. But Pep was talking about how he's had discussions within the club about him wanting İlkay to stay. So we know he's going to be fundamental. We know he's going to be absolutely fundamental in the running. He was playing, he was fantastic, scored 2 goals. Should have had a third saved onto the post by the Leeds United goalkeeper. But City were dominant. 85 minutes, it was fantastic. City were purring. I think Leeds had 18% possession. And Man City were just on top completely. Obviously, changes happened. City let it go a little bit towards the end, which was disappointing to see. But still, City got the 3 points. Pep was referencing Erling Haaland afterwards, saying what a fantastic game he had. Obviously, Haaland was getting criticism. Can you believe that? He was getting criticism for not taking the penalty, which I found quite shocking, to be quite honest with you. Gundogan should have taken the penalty. Gundogan, was going to get a hat-trick, wasn't he? So it was only the right thing to do. But Pep, in his post-match press conference, was saying that Haaland is too nice. Well, I'm absolutely fine with that. 35 goals in 31 games. If that's a nice guy, imagine what he's like when he's mean and ruthless, and that might develop with City in the next coming years. But obviously Leeds, a dominant performance. City now going to Real Madrid. As I've mentioned, Nathan Ake, who knows what's happening there. As I've just mentioned and referenced a few times, he wasn't in the open training, so what will Pep do? Who knows? But you're expecting a strong City side. Manuel Akanji said that this is the only game this season where Manchester City are classed as underdogs. And I think we can all agree is that the world media know that for this game, they call it football heritage, don't they? Football heritage, Champions League heritage. That's what Real Madrid have over Man City. But I firmly believe, in fact, that Man City have learnt from last season. They let it slip with 5 minutes to go. And it all turned on its head in the Bernabeu. The atmosphere was fantastic in Spain, Madrid that night. City cannot afford to let that happen again, because overall, Manchester City were the dominant team. They let Real Madrid back into it for 5 to 10 minutes. It all slipped. But now, for me, this season, they've got rotation options. With rotation options comes quality off the bench. Pep has managed his side in a really, really fantastic way for me this season. The acquisitions of players like Manuel Akanji for 15 million quid, who seamlessly transitioned into this side, has been a welcome addition from last season. Bernardo Silva's on pomp, İlkay's on pomp, Kevin De Bruyne, after Pep came out, after his press conference about 3 months ago, and said Erling's not at the level, I'm paraphrasing, but Kevin's not at the level, I'm paraphrasing, and that sort of spurred Kevin De Bruyne on to even greater things. Erling Haaland's been consistent all season. Jack Grealish has been fantastic. Riyad Mahrez as a rotation option has been unbelievable. Phil Foden has come in last week, scored a goal. He's come in against Leeds, played well as well. So Pep has an abundance of players at his disposal right now, healthy options which City didn't have last season. So going into this, I know what Akanji said about City being underdogs, but realistically, when you're looking at the football on the pitch, for me, there's only one underdog, and it's Real Madrid. It is Real Madrid going into this one. So rotation options for this, do I think Pep will utilise it? I don't. I think this is going to be City's strongest 11. I really do. And then maybe when you're looking at Everton at the weekend, which Pep has essentially said is going to be the hardest game remaining that Man City have, there's going to be two strong sides set out for this one. Man City cannot afford to slip up. And a huge win for Arsenal at St James's Park, which I don't think any City fans really expected, to be quite honest with you. Obviously, Arsenal on the downward spiral in the last month, and they came out, they put a good performance in against Newcastle. Once again, a gentle reminder for Manchester City, this cannot stop. This momentum has to continue. It is a slog, it is a grind, but if you want to be Premier League champions, if you want to win the Champions League, the FA Cup, the treble, as we've all been speaking about, you have to grind these results out. It's going to be an arduous season for Manchester City, but can they do it? Of course they can. Now listen, we've got coverage of everything Manchester City. You want to see something regarding open training? We've got it in abundance across our sites. Social media is on pomp at the minute. Our YouTube site is, it's all the latest news. It's number one for Manchester City. The Talking City podcast is everywhere at the minute, guys. We've got bonus podcasts for you as well as the essential baseline content we have every single week, which can be twice a week. Extra content, 3 or 4 podcasts a week. Can you believe it, everybody? You can go check that out on all of our sites, of course. We'll be back with some more Manchester City content very, very soon. Keep it locked in with us, guys. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you in a bit.